Okay, it's important to me that you know that the plural of moose is moose. Oh boy, this is going to mess with me today. Marc Heinzman is with us on the show this morning. He has played a very important role in the rescue of 3 baby moose. I want to say mooses, I want to say meese, at Northwest Wildlife Track, and he is joining us today. Marc, welcome to Spirit 105.3. It's so fun having you here. What is your official role?
Sure. I am the zoological curator, which basically means I manage and oversee the entire animal care department and all the staff that take care of the animals and the animals that are taken care of.
Do you have a favorite animal, Marc, or is that like asking about a favorite child?
Well, I always like to joke that it's like asking about the favorite child, but I know that if I asked my parents, of course they would say it's me, not my sister. But for me, I've really become fond of our wolverines for a lot of different reasons. I just really think they're extremely charming animals and really clever and fun to watch and pay attention to. But, I could tell you something different about every single animal we have here that I appreciate about just them in particular. So I could talk for a very long time about that question.
It's so funny that I would have never guessed that you would describe a wolverine as charming. So this is exciting.
Oh, yeah. They have very engaging personalities. So you get to know them even just a little bit, and you're like, oh, these are really fun animals.
Oh, that is so cool. Okay, well, we understand you have a story about 3 orphaned moose calves. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah.
What happened?
Well, so we had 3 moose calves that were orphaned in Alaska last year, all unrelated, all orphaned for a variety of reasons, all different circumstances. And we worked in partnership with the Alaska Department of Fish and Game to arrange for Northwest Trek to be their new home. Since they were orphaned at a very young age, they were too young to survive on their own, just kind of left out there since they were still nursing from their mothers at that point, and without their mothers they wouldn't survive in the wild. So they were brought into wildlife rehabilitation facilities in Alaska, where they were raised for a few months by the great staff up there. And then once we felt like those animals were healthy and doing well enough to be transported, we brought them here to Washington State, and they moved into Northwest Trek. We've been raising them since the summer of last year, and they've been doing really well, really growing. They've, basically doubled in size since we've gotten them. And just recently, we introduced them to our free roaming area, which is a public display, so where they will live in 435 acres of space and share that habitat with a bunch of other species, including bison, elk, caribou, bighorn sheep, mountain goats, and a few others.
How did you know they were ready for that area?
It's kind of a part of the process that comes from just the experience that we have with working with moose for many, many years here at Northwest Trek, where when we first received them, they were still being bottle fed. So our staff had to bottle feed them for a certain period of time. And as they started to get to be about the right age, we started to wean them off those bottles and introduce them to solid foods so that they started to get used to the diet that an adult moose would be eating. And once we were confident they were eating that well and continuing to grow and gain weight and show all the good signs of a healthy, thriving moose, we put together plans to introduce them out there.
What is the sign of a healthy, thriving moose?
Well, the growth is a big one, as I mentioned. The fact that they have all basically doubled in size since we received them in the summer. It still kind of throws me for a loop since I don't work every day with them like our animal keepers do. That when we got them, they were about at my waist in height, and now they are about as tall as me, and I'm 6 foot. So just to see how big they are in just a few months, it always kind of throws you off. But they also are just displaying that good sense of vigor. They're active, and they seem to be really enjoying life. They move around quite a bit. They're really enjoying eating quite a bit of stuff. They seem really engaged with our staff whenever we show up to care for them. So all those really positive signs that you might expect in an animal that is doing well.
How long did it take for these moose babies to trust you guys?
We had a really nice head start just thanks to the work that was done by the wildlife rehabilitation facilities in Alaska, since they had been bottle raising them for a couple months before we received them. And so basically they quickly recognize anybody who has that bottle as someone they want to hang out with because they really love those meals. So when we show up with those bottles to give them their first meal upon arrival, they were very interested in spending time with us so that they could eat that.
I mean, Marc, did they sit still? Are they sitting in your lap? I'm trying to picture this.
No, they definitely don't sit still. It's quite the chaotic production in certain ways because they're very excited to be fed. And so, imagine if you had basically the equivalent of 3 dogs that were at least half your size, if not bigger, all excited for their meal and trying to manage them all in the same space. You're trying to get this animal's attention for this bottle and this animal's attention for a different bottle. And so there's a lot of art to that process of just trying to maneuver them in just the right way so that they're paying attention to the right person with the right bottle and making sure that they aren't so excited that they, can't even get the bottle in their mouth to eat it because they're moving around so much.
What a fascinating job you have. Marc Heinzman from Northwest Trek Wildlife Park. So appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.